Well, the camera doesn't work with me today, so here's the third intro I'm trying to make. Welcome to the new Beverrad. Today we're doing welcome to a Beverrad RC video. Today we're talking about Tamiya CC-02 Mercedes G-500. This is the fourth time I make a intro because the camera has more fucking issues than my fucking Tamiya CC-02. I'm getting very fucking annoyed by that. Now it seems to work, but this Tamiya is box stock right now, and as the trams don't drive here because of a construction work, they're gonna change up all these rails, so they don't drive over here for about a month. I might have some time to do some proper research on crawling, trailing, skill trailing and all that kind of stuff. We're 35 kilometers in with this car. 30 of those were put on a torque-tune engine because I've ordered this second-hand from Tamiya Motorsport. Well, Motorsport, Model Sport, but you know what I mean. It was 120 euros altogether, and after 30 kilometers I've ground the torque-tune engine, and I don't know how many miles there were on beforehand, so I've decided to swap out a torque-tune to a MST M54 35 turn crawler motor, but it came originally from my Honda Civic Type R MST TCR front wheel drive. So there's that. This engine seems to work very well in this chassis, but the chassis is box stock, so open diffs, just normal shocks, well oil-filled shocks, but they're normal shocks, not big bore or anything like that. The electronics, apart from the MSD, are still how I bought it from Tamiya, so Apsima remote and the stock tires, which are ours, and I'm forgetting the servo name, but it is a Power HD MG-1501 or something like that, I think. I have to double check that, but I think it's the MG-1501, it's the analog one, an older style one, but it works perfectly for this car. Top speed on 2S battery will be about 12 km per hour opposed to 18.7 with the same pinion and stuff as the torque-tune had, but that has mainly to do with the torque-tune can output more RPMs than this one. Well, this doesn't work with me also, but godverkankerding, after we move on, getting tired of that shit already. But Skiltra Run CC-02, and well, you can't see that I think on the footage, but it says change route, these stops don't count as long as they work on the tram rails to replacing them, egalize the floorings and all that kind of stuff, because at my front door they already put new concrete into the ground for that. So now we have this whole course to ourselves, because normally here would be parked up some trams, at least 2, sometimes 4, sometimes even 6. Now they're not here, we can finally do the proper round, get that on camera, look at how the Tamiya performs, or how it doesn't perform, and there's that. And the camera has some issues, let's say it that way. It doesn't connect to my DJI Bluetooth remote, which is installed on the frame, under the body, so we're not getting radians, speed, total distance via DJI software. So for that we're truly relying on the iPhone. Anyway, opposed to the Torsion, I don't feel that much difference in punch. It was only in top end that I can tell a difference. The main difference being higher top speed and all that kind of stuff. But initial punch, it screeches tires just like the old combo. Only it doesn't scream as much because it doesn't make as much RPM. Normally here would be trains, what the fuck I'm saying. Normally here will be trams parked all over. Yeah. Okay. Open diffs, no blocks installed. I think the original owner wanted this to be a nerfed G-Class because the original G-Class has lots of this, has good electronics, has a proper engine. What the fuck is dat nou weer, bro? Kanker op mee vliegtuig of zo. Where were we? Oh yeah. I think the original builder of this has severely compromised it because it is a fucking Mercedes-Benz after all, and it shouldn't get stuck on something small like this. But that's what you get with the hard-ass Tamiya tires that doesn't work for off-roading at all. No give in them, almost no traction, no foams in them as well. Combination of open differential, as you already could see, and maybe can see over here again. Yeah, like that. But I've got some upgrades for that. I've bought some DS Racing fluids for the shocks as well as for the differential. Two components. You need to make your own strength yourself, but you have some plastic valves to mix it up and to test it and all that kind of stuff. So I will be fully locking the rear differential and 2/3 locking the front differential to try if that makes a difference. Also I'm getting some thicker oil in the shock. It runs 100 CST or something like that. Just the stock Tamiya shit doesn't work at all because you see bounce and bounce everywhere. A G-Class is from origin a very good steering sports utility vehicle. So this is also not true to skill, not true to performance. So with that I'm trying to change that up. As I want to run these Mercedes Tamiya wheels still, I have to look at RCE for WD something, Goodyear tires or something, because these don't work at all. Oh, hoi. Ga van de kant hoor, die komt niet. Ja, dat is mooi. What was my story? Oh yeah, I already know. Currently with this run excluded on the odometer, we already have 35 kilometers done. That isn't too bad, I suppose. It isn't a very big scale car. Well, it isn't a very big scale car. That doesn't make sense, but the wheelbase is 267 millimeters, and compared it to my Yukon 41015, it's quite a bit smaller. This is is almost as big as my MJX rally car, my Tamiya CC-02 and all that kind of stuff, API RS4, the Yokomo YD2, the MST RMAX, they're all similar size, 257mm wheelbase length. In the width, I think this is something similar to 190mm, because within drifting we're mainly using 200mm bodies, and if I remember correctly, in the time that HPI used the RS4 Nitros, the RCR models of those Nitros came with a 200mm wide body opposed to the 190 that most of the electric RS4s comes with today. So there's also a difference. Well, that difference doesn't include definitely issues on how do I say this, on skilled crawlers, because they're mainly the same size if you don't look at the Tamiya CC-01 and CC-02. For example, Traxxas is more than 300mm long, wheelbase wise. My Yukon is 325mm. Alright. Don't have to block traffic with this, eh? Anyhow. For what it is a decently capable rig in my opinion, but I'm very biased by that because, first of all, when I restarted the RC hobby and I went to skilled trailing and crawling, I instantly went to WPL with the C84, the C74, the Suzuki Jimneys. Those are even smaller. Those are like 200mm in wheelbase length, so more like a Tamiya Mini. Yeah, those WPLs are not very comparable to this because lower power, different kind of shell, different kind of electronics. But the WPL is closer to this than this is to my Yukon 41015. So, yeah, I don't know how to compare them all because I'm not a crawling expert, nor am I a off-road expert. But it's fun to take some cars with you on a stroll, do some laps in, go from borrow to borrow, all that kind of bullshit, you know. And sometimes you find some nice spots to drive your car on. That's all we're doing for today. Trams doesn't ride on the course, we take over the course like some rats. Although this isn't the Rotterdam Asphalt Terrorist session, but Rotterdam Terrain Crawler session, but you know what I'm getting, what I mean. It does look very true to skill if you rewatch the footage on the goddamn screen, minus the body pose. But it does work. Well, it doesn't climb this right now with the stock tires. Only if you whack the throttle full, and then you might even explode some of the differential. There's nothing wrong with this. Godverdomme, je rijdt hem toch niet vast in dat ding, hè? Wel zo. Anyway, let's continue. Issue I have with this car is mainly related to two things which I already spoke about within past footage, but it really is the tires and it really is the non-locked diffs. I will show you in a bit, but first let me pull this motherfucker to the side. You can see open diff. Yeah, you can see so bad, eh? Anyway, and these tires are fucking hard, man. I might be even thinking about to swap these tires out, glue them on a MJX wheel or something like that, put them under the MJX and fully hone them until they blast off. Because this is bullshit wheel. I don't understand why they put that on this car. As you can clearly see, and that's also due to the non-lock differential, it will have some issues climbing some uneven terrain, some thick rock, and sometimes if you want to climb over a non-recessed tram track, then it gets stuck. Then you need to full throttle. And that's no good to the gearbox, because that's another thing with the CC-02. The gearboxes aren't known to be very sturdy and durable. So I'm not even looking into upgrading the pinions and all that kind of shit. Just get a good engine, don't put too much strain on it, get some good locking differential fluid in them. First make sure that it works. Then look into the shock oil, if the shocks are good enough. If not, we're getting some AliExpress cheapos. But the main thing, what will do difference, even though if I keep it unlocked differentials, are the tires. Don't be cheap on the tires, that's all I'm saying.